job is not done until our job is complete. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 2 of the Torah portion, Naso. Let's continue now in the book of Numbers, or Bamidbar, chapter number 4, and begin reading with verse number 24. This is the service of the clans of the Gershonites in serving and in bearing burdens. They shall bear the curtains of the dwelling place and the tent of appointment with its coverings, the covering of fine leather that is on it, the covering for the door of the tent of appointment, screens of the courtyard, and covering of the door of the gate of the courtyard, which is around the dwelling place and the slaughter place, and their cords, and all the equipment for their service, and all that is made for them, so shall they serve. Down then in verse number 31, considering the family of Merari. This is the duty of their burden, according to all their service for the tent of meeting, the boards of the dwelling place, and its bars, and its columns, and its sockets, the columns around the courtyard with their sockets, and their pegs, and their cords, with all their equipment and all their service, and assign to each one by name the equipment of the duty of their burden. Their burden. Sounds heavy, doesn't it? Sounds like a lot of work. In 1865, the Army of Virginia found themselves in a perilous position in Appomattox. General Lee, leading his troops, was addressed by his staff and officers, and they said to him, "General, the time has come. Surrender is a real option here. We're losing, and we can't win this war." It is reported that General Lee looked at them and said, "There's too many men that are here willing to do their duty, indeed to do all of their duty for their cause and for their country." For those few moments, General Lee believed that the aspect of duty was enough to continue the war, to continue their cause, to continue their defense of their homeland, until he realized we're cut off in supplies, etc. There's other issues, and he made a surrender, and the war was ended. This is an ideal that we have lost in our generations, mine included, and that is the sense of duty. At the time of this recording, it's June 6th. This is the day that we remember D-Day, the invasion of Normandy. And I read this morning that before this battle was over, we had some 10,000 casualties. Many brave young men stormed those beaches under horrendous machine gun fire, planted bombs and mortar assaults, and they gave their lives in those waves and sands of a foreign soil. They charged out of those landing craft in horrific fashion because it was their duty. It was what was expected of them. It's also the same day that, if we look at a different front, the Battle of Midway is going on. And again, a lot of young airmen gave their lives in that battle for what they believed was a fight for freedom. And they were right. The freedoms and the liberties that we enjoy as Americans today was bought and paid for by the blood of many brave souls, a variety of colors, nationalities, ethnicities, male and female alike. Freedom and liberty is not cheap. It took people doing their duty. What is duty? It's the given role of expected service. The role of expected service that is offered until completion and with full attention to detail. Again, the job that is in front of us is not done until it's completed. In the book of Matthew, we read about the names of the 12 that followed Yeshua most closely. And as he called them by name, it says in verse number 5, Matthew 10, Yeshua sent these 12 out, having commanded them, saying, do not go into the way of the nations, and do not enter the city of Samaria on them, but rather go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And as you go, proclaim, saying, the reign of the heavens has drawn near. This is their duty: heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out demons. You've received without paying, give without being paid. One might surmise, well, they went off to do great miracles, signs, and wonders. They had seen Yeshua do these things. They had been with him. They were eyewitnesses. But now he was saying, what you see me do, you go do the same. Unless you think that they were supercharged and super well equipped, I don't know that they're any different than you and I. What if Yeshua gave to us a word in a vision, a dream, a prophecy, somehow it's communicated to us, and said, Barry, you're to go to this city. You're to go to such and such a city. And when you get there, heal the sick and raise the dead. Raise the dead? I've never raised the dead before. I prayed for folks and they gotten healed. I've also prayed for a lot of folks and they didn't get healed. But to raise the dead, cleanse lepers, preach the kingdom. Now, I've done that. But he said, cast out demons. Anyone that's had any experience in deliverance ministry knows this is not simply just saying a few words and poof, it's all taken care of. These men were commissioned to go out and do their duty. And he said, you receive this freely, give it freely. This is no supercharged evangelistic campaign with an entourage and a line of vehicles bringing a superstar to town. These are mere mortal men who are commissioned. In the book of Luke, chapter number 14, if we read with verse number 25 and following, it says, and large crowds were going with him, and turning, he said to them, if anyone comes to me and does not hate his father and mother and wife and children and brothers and sisters, and his own life too, he is unable to be my taught one. And whoever does not bear his stake and come after me is unable to be my taught one. For who of you, wishing to build a tower, does not sit down first and count the cost? Determine what the duty is going to cost you, whether he has enough to complete it. Otherwise, when he's laid the foundation and is unable to complete it, all who see it will begin to mock him, saying, this man began to build and is unable to finish. So he says in verse number 33, so then every one of you who does not give up all that he has is unable to be my taught one. Talk about duty. General Lee says there's too many men that are willing to do all of their duty. He knew that that meant to stand in a line, shoulder to shoulder, lay down musket fire at an opposing force, and then receive a return volley. That meant that many who were standing side by side would be laying on the ground side by side, knowing that they would take their lives. We want comfort, we want convenience, we want ease, we want favor, we want blessing, we want increase. We want things to be comfortable for us. And Yeshua is looking for those rare individuals who will muscle up in their spirit, who will grow passionate and fervent in their inner man, their inner person, and cry out to him, here I am, Yeshua. Use me. I'm willing to do my duty for the purposes of you, your honor, your glory, and the building of your kingdom. Choose me. Send me. I'll go. Let the call of duty be upon us. Let us do all of our job until our job is completed, giving full attention to its detail. Think on these things, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Until then, shalom.